Breaking tonight, the young woman gunned down by an illegal immigrant in San Francisco was just laid to rest, surrounded by friends and family. It does not appear at this hour that anyone from the Obama administration was in attendance. Welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. Funeral services were held this evening for 32-year-old Catherine Steinle. Her loved ones remembering her as an avid traveler who loved connecting with people until her life was cut short a week ago. That's when Kate was shot and killed while in her father's arms. Police say by this man, Francisco Sanchez, an illegal immigrant who had been deported 5 times from this country and had racked up a string of felonies while in the U.S. The San Francisco sheriff had Sanchez in custody as recently as April, but released him pursuant to San Francisco's sanctuary city policy, where they have rules against handing over anyone to the feds who might be deported. This sheriff, himself a convicted criminal, says he stands by the city's policy. Kate's murder has since exploded into a national debate on illegal immigrants, sanctuary cities, and crime, with the White House ducking the issue of its own acquiescence in these cities' decision to flout the federal immigration laws, which were duly enacted. When asked repeatedly this week to speak to this case, White House spokesman Josh Earnest declined to weigh in, other than to refer folks to the Department of Homeland Security. A stark contrast to what we saw after Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson, Missouri. A man we now know was attacking a police officer at the time of his death. His funeral saw 3 Obama officials in attendance. His death drew comments from President Obama personally, and the administration also sent in the DOJ and 40 FBI agents dispatched to Missouri after Michael Brown was killed. Where is the swarm of agents in San Francisco? Then there was Freddie Gray in Baltimore, a repeat drug offender who was killed in police custody. Here again, his funeral was attended by 3 Obama administration officials. And again, the president spoke personally to Freddie Gray's death and again sent the DOJ in to investigate. When Trayvon Martin was killed in Florida, the president spoke to his death, which was later ruled to be in self-defense. But Kate Steinle? Nothing. No comments. No swarm of FBI agents, no DOJ investigation, nothing. Why? Mark Thiessen is a Fox News contributor and the former chief presidential speechwriter for President George W. Bush. Richard Fowler is a nationally syndicated radio host. Thank you for being here both. Mark, why?
Yeah, the silence from President Obama is absolutely deafening. He had plenty to say when it came to Trayvon Martin, when it came to Michael Brown, when it came to Freddie Gray. But all of a sudden, a woman is killed by a criminal alien, and all of a sudden the president is tongue-tied. He's got nothing to say. Why is that? The answer is simple. When in all of those other cases, he had liberal policy points that he wanted to make about gun control, about police bias, about racial profiling. In this case, he has no policy points he wants to make because the policies he supports are the ones that got this woman killed. His support for sanctuary cities, his support for releasing criminal aliens into the communities. So he doesn't want to highlight this because there's no political gain to be made from it.
Richard, do you disagree with any word Mark just said?
I disagree with about 90% of it. I think this president is outraged that we haven't passed comprehensive immigration reform. Since this president has come into the White House, he's argued
the comment on Kate Steinle's death?
over and over again about comprehensive immigration reform. This president has said a number of times criminals shouldn't stay in this country, but because our immigration, I am answering your question, Megyn.
Where is the comment about Kate Steinle's murder?
The reason why Kate Steinle's murder happened, and the White House will tell you the same thing, is because we have a broken immigration system. George Bush tried to fix it, and the Republicans blocked it. Now the president has tried to fix it. Marco Rubio even tried it, and it was so bad that he ran away from it. Okay. If we had fixed our immigration system, we wouldn't be here today.
So let me ask you, where is his comment on her murder?
Her murder wouldn't have happened, Megyn. Sanctuary cities wouldn't have happened if we had comprehensive immigration reform.
I'm asking you, give an answer. You can't because there isn't one. Mark, there's no excuse for it. He picks and chooses the victims he wants to highlight, and apparently this victim wasn't deemed worthy.
That's exactly right. And look, why hasn't the president come out into the South Lawn, the Rose Garden, or the press podium and said it is unconscionable that the city of San Francisco refused a request from U.S. immigration officials to notify them when this man with 7 felony convictions was released? It's his administration that requested that information and it was turned down. And the answer is simple. He supports sanctuary city policies. His administration.
That's not true, Mark.
It is.
How
Absolutely
is it not true?
Richard. How is it not true?
It's one, we have seen very few Republican candidates come out and talk about how we fixed the broken
we're not talking about the
immigration system.
Republicans.
Number two, the reason why this individual is able to come back in the country multiple times is because under the Republican leadership, under the Republican budget making, they have cut Border Patrol.
You've got to be kidding me, Richard. You're telling me, Richard, that Republicans don't want to secure the border, but they're stopping Obama
in the
from securing
pathway
the
to
border?
prosperity. Paul Ryan cut border officials. Those are the facts. But that's neither here nor there. If we deal with comprehensive immigration reform, we wouldn't have this problem.
I'm going to give you the floor, but you got to stay on point. You keep making these assertions, and then you dance off to the sidelines. The question, you said the president doesn't support sanctuary city policies. What do you base that on?
I base it on the fact that if we had comprehensive immigration reform, there would be no need for sanctuary cities. And I'm pretty sure the White House will tell you the same thing tonight. If we had immigration reform
I don't think that's
and
true.
we got rid of the 11 million people who live in the shadows, there would be no need for sanctuary cities. That's the fact.
Mark, and yet Richard
That's
seems to be
fact,
forgetting
though, Megyn.
about Sarah
But that's a
Saldana.
fact.
Sarah Saldana and what happened with her testimony in March, which makes perfectly clear that this administration is fine with sanctuary cities.
No, that's absolutely true. She came and she was asked by Congress, do you support legislation that would require cities to cooperate, that would have required the city of San Francisco to report on this individual? And she said, amen, thank you. The next day, she had to issue a statement retracting that because she was cut off at the knees by the Obama administration. Of course they don't support they support sanctuary city policies.
But Mark, I've seen you on this program over and over again, Mark, advocating for states' rights and the separation between the federal government and the state government. Immigration policy and implementation of immigration law and creation of immigration law lies squarely with the federal government, and this Congress has failed to act, even though this president has asked them over and over and over again to do something. Congress has taken sticks, broken them, and put them in their ears.
All right, I got to go. I got to leave it at that. Good debate as always, guys.